Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the India Today Conclave once again, where we are very privileged to be joined by a couple who I am going to describe today as, in many ways, Jodi number one. He is an iconic figure for India's startup industry and the infotech ecosystem that has exploded over the last couple of decades. She is an award-winning best-selling author and philanthropist who's now just become a nominated Rajya Sabha MP. And their power doesn't just extend to this country, but if you want to enter 10 Downing Street, they might well tell you how to get there. So in many ways, they've proven the world is flat, that you can move from Bengaluru to 10 Downing Street without a problem. But what makes them truly, ladies and gentlemen, Jodi number one, is their love for each other. An uncommon love that has sustained for 50 years and counting. And to my mind, therefore, they represent some of the best values of India. Ladies and gentlemen, Narayana Murthy and Sudha Murty join us here at the India Today Conclave. Thank you both very much. I want to start, though. I'm going to ask my producer to just play a little video, because you've just a couple of days ago, ma'am, been sworn in as a member of the Rajya Sabha. There you are, getting sworn in, and I think that is another feather in your cap. Sudha Murty ji, what was it like to now, in your latest innings, that you've decided to play as a Rajya Sabha MP, ma'am?
Hello, can you hear me? Yeah, this is a new chapter to me at the age of 73, I suppose. It's a new lessons, but for learning, age no bar. So let me...
So age no bar.
Age no bar.
Mr. Murthy, are you happy to now remain in the shadows of your wife?
Well, absolutely, but because right from day one, it was very clear that she was so much superior to me because, you know, as an engineer, I use data. I never got the first rank, never. But she always got the first rank in 10 semesters of her engineering. And at Institute of Science, Bangalore, she had got a scholarship to the best technology university in the world to do her PhD. She was the first woman to go to telco, all of that. So therefore, I had no doubt in my mind that she was truly the better half.
You're acknowledging that today, after all these years, because the truth is, Mr. Murthy, when you had the opportunity, you did not make her part of the Infosys startup team. Do you regret that today, that you didn't take your wife as part of the startup team, even though, as you say, she was eminently qualified to be part of it?
Well, life is all about learning and improving. Those days, I was an incorrigible idealist. Those days, the standard was family-run organizations, husband and wife, father and son, father and daughter, etc. So therefore, I said, having returned from France, I said, I want to do something different in India. And therefore, I thought one way of doing it is not to make it a husband and wife company, even though she was much more qualified than all the founders. Let there be no doubt about it. So it was an act of idealism.
It was an act of idealism. Have you forgiven him for it, Sudhaji, after all these years, that he didn't make you part? Because in your book, which has come out, you do mention somewhere that you felt a little hurt.
Yeah, of course, because I loved engineering, and a couple of years it hurt me, maybe 2 to 3 years. I felt it, I wish I could have been. But when I look back in life now, good I did not become part, because I would have retired as a technical director of Infosys probably. But I touched many lives in real life through Infosys Foundation, and I value it much more than any other position. So I feel helping others, being compassionate to others is more important than any position. Probably God closed one window for me, but He opened many doors. I consider that way.
And I'm going to play some photographs. And we're going to start with the early 70s when over books, the two of you fell in love with each other, and that's your marriage day. That's
Our marriage, and within 800 rupees we got married.
in 800 rupees.
400 each.
And you thought that he would look like Rajesh Khanna.
No, that was very clear. I knew him. Okay. I thought so before meeting him. After meeting him, I said, no, Rajesh Khanna is Rajesh Khanna.
Because when you first, it was love over books, Mr. Murthy. You wooed your wife with the fact that she was a bibliophile, and that is what seemed to attract you. But any memories of this special day?
Well, I think she walked into my room. I was sharing a room with a family in Pune, Deccan Gymkhana. She walked in, she was full of enthusiasm, she was very talkative, a lot of confidence, all of that. And I knew that the only hope I had of impressing her was my impressive array of books. And I had some very unusual authors. George Mikesh, who's a Hungarian English humor writer. And
George Mikesh.
Mikesh. And she was very much impressed by George Mikesh, not so much by me. And that was good enough for me.
So the way to a woman's heart is sometimes through books, to the point where, Mr. Murthy, you once love blossomed, a 11-hour train journey, traveling ticketless, because by then you were missing your wife.
Yeah.
So
she was not yet my wife.
She was not yet your wife, that's right. So it's okay to fall in love, spend time wooing a woman, and not necessarily have a 70-hour work day, right? Work week, right? Nothing wrong. Because a lot of younger India today believes the moment you said you must mandatorily have 70-hour work lives, they said, what is Narayana Murthy talking about? What about work-life balance?
Well, coming back to those wonderful days, I had just returned from France. I was somewhat bohemian, and I had no worries in the world. I had joined a think tank, NGO. I took half the salary they offered. And the day I met her, I wanted to meet her more often. We would go to a restaurant, a fruit juice shop called Dakshin. No, what is that? Darshan in Pune. And I would go, she would order a queen-size orange juice, and I would order a king-size banana milkshake, and we would be sitting. And of course, once in a while I would say, Abhi na jao, and all of that, Chodo kar, dil abhi bara nahi, and all of that. And one day, one of the bandhus, the servers, the waiters were called bandhus, he came and said, I know you say a lot of true things, but this one is not true. You have been sitting here for 4 hours. Would you please vacate it now?
So did you all grow up, Sudha Murty? I mean, in these years of falling in love with each other, did you, a more innocent age, the 1970s, holding hands in a cinema theater was seen as the maximum in public display of affection? Was that how? It was a more innocent age, wasn't it?
Yeah, because we never had Infosys. We never thought of anything more than being happy, going around in a nice city like Pune. But my life drastically changed when Murthy started Infosys. It was no longer that happy days in Pune. It was a responsibility, commitment, and building a company is not a joke. It requires a lot of sacrifices from the family, support from the family, and a lot of give and then take. So the whole life changed once it came to Infosys.
You know, but love blossoms and this entrepreneurial journey grows almost simultaneously. And there is this wonderful, incredible story, Mrs. Murthy, that you talk about, or we all now know about how you gave 10,000 rupees from your account. That's all you had in your savings account, and you gave it to your husband to start off his entrepreneurial journey. It is perhaps the most valuable 10,000 that anyone has given their husband. I mean, what prompted you? You had faith in this man, this bohemian man that you had fallen in love with?
Well, there are two things. Number one, when I got married, my mother told me, you know, we both come from a middle class family. We are not from rich family. We all come from a salaried families. So my mother told me, without spend money with great care and save some money without husband's knowledge. And this money should not be used for jewels or the saris. Only in emergency you should use it. So I saved every month some money, and it was in a box I did not even count. When Murthy said, I want to start a software company in 1981, I told we have good jobs. Both of us had very good jobs. We had our own daughter, Akshata, by that time. And I said, why do you want to start? Murthy knew that I'm very fond of history, so he wants to prove that historically, then I will agree. He said, when there was the Industrial Revolution, we were the colonies of other country and Britain, and we could not prosper because industrialization took place there. We only became the raw material suppliers. Now the second revolution has come now, that is software revolution. So if we miss this boat, we will never become legally, ethically rich. And this is the only way Indians, middle class people with good educational background can do something. So he said, if you help me out, I will start a company. I said, I don't have too much money because you're salaried people with a lot of responsibility. He said, if you don't agree, then I cannot start. I want you should wholeheartedly accept this, then only I would like to jump into this. I thought over it. It was a Wednesday evening. Thursday morning, I counted. It was 10,250. I'm not good in economics, you know. I'm good in engineering, but not in economics. The only investment I've made in life is 10,000 rupees. That's all.
Well, it's the best investment you ever made.
I told Murthy, look, here is 10,000, 250 again I kept inside. Because I never know this man will be successful or not. Because before that he had his own company, Softronics. He was not successful. So I took a little bit of risk and I said, take this money. I assumed I will write off. He may not be or he may be. If he is, well and good. If he is not, it's also well and good. Then he told me, okay, be ready for the bumpy ride for the next 3 years. Okay? I myself will be very busy, and with this money I will start. That's how I gave 10,000 rupees.
It's, as I said, one of the most valuable 10,000 rupees that any wife has given her husband. I'm going to ask my producer to put up another couple of pictures because family life begins. And I don't know about the holidays that you all spend. Where is this? Mr. Murthy, did you take your wife on, this is the first foreign holiday that you all ever did? You all went overseas? Where was this?
Yes, I think...
no, you know Murthy, 1979.
79.
Went to America first time on work. This is in Greece in the year 1996.
Yeah.
We took Akshata, and a whole lot of us went. I was very keen. I'm very fond of history. So I told we should go to Greece. It's in Greece.
Because you have a reputation that you are, you'd like to travel. There were all these rumors about how you prefer to even travel economy, not business class.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Well, till we reached
Old
$1
age.
billion of revenue and about $280 million of net income, that is after tax profit, we had said we are going to travel economy, international, domestic, doesn't matter. However, at that time, some of the younger people came to me and said, look, we have made so much of sacrifice, all of this. Why don't you be a little bit more relaxed? And that's why we shifted to business class. But till then, the independent directors were given first class.
So independent directors
Oh,
travel first class
absolutely.
while you traveled economy.
Absolutely, absolutely. Anyway, so that's when we shifted to business class. We used to stay in very seedy hotels in
Delhi.
New York, even in Delhi here, near the old railway station, there used to be a hotel called Nataraj. When I came to get the license and all, I mean, we were quite happy. I think at the end of the day, what is more important than is your mental happiness rather than a physical comfort.
You know, that is because you all, for a while, stayed in a small 1 BHK
Oh, absolutely.
when you first got married with a common toilet.
Of course.
That's where it all started.
Yeah, yeah.
Then, of course, Infosys takes over your lives. And there is a poignant moment in your Uncommon Love book where you miss your son's birthday, Rohan's birthday, and he asks you, who do you love more, Infosys or me and Akshata?
Well, when I told them that I did love my daughter and son, they didn't believe me. It was very clear. They just smiled and went away.
I'll play what Rohan said. We've got something that Rohan has to say to you all, and listen into what your son had to say, who's now at the moment in London.
What happened?
Okay, I'm going to ask them to...
Increase the volume.
Okay, we'll try and get that audio of Rohan Murthy in a moment. But is that the sacrifice that you've had to make in a way? That your children missed out because you were on your entrepreneurial journey?
You know, I'll tell you, when I returned from France, I must be one of the very few people who left a Western country and came back to India. I had a very aspirational target. I said, I want to conduct the first experiment in India on democratization of wealth. I want to create a company of the professional, for the professional, and by the professional, as Abe Lincoln defined US democracy. I want to demonstrate in India that even people who have no connections to the government can succeed. I want to create a company that will compete itself with the best in the world. So these were all very aspirational, noble, objectives. When you have such a thing, there is no sacrifice because you're all the time focused on that target. So we never felt anything.
You never felt. Let's hear what Rohan had to say.
I was there, why
that
should
I
worry?
feel I'm proud of in terms of my identity. It's come from trying to emulate him. And this is far before there's any success in his life. I mean, a very important role model. I don't want to make it sound like my father is the best and so on, but in my limited sort of life, all things that I consider a very important part of my identity come from my father. And my mother, of course. But I think I'm more influenced by my father.
But Sudha Murthy ji, it's not just Rohan now. Now you've got Akshata. We have some lovely family photographs of holidays that you all took together. And now she's out there as the wife of the British Prime Minister. Is it true that you told the immigration authorities when they asked you in London when you arrived, where are you going to go and stay? And you really told them 10 Downing Street?
Yeah, because that is the official address, and my son also stays in London. I won't remember these codes, N5, H7, the British code. I won't remember that. So I was wondering, my sister was with me, which address we should write, whether it is the Rohan's address or her address. So when we were debating, so I said, okay, 10 Downing Street or something there.
And you put 10 Downing Street.
Yeah, no, at the end
And what did the immigration officer say?
No, the better is to put my son's address, because then a lot more questions will not be asked, So they felt very funny. Actually, me and my sister are arguing which address we should put it, 10 Downing Street or 11 Downing Street or what is that. They felt
But you know, these are lovely pictures. I want to ask you, what is your message to young couples? Both are, you know, the couples may be fierce professionals, but also want to, you know, have a strong, conducive family life. How do you do that? How do you achieve the love, work-life balance?
okay. When you are married, you are bound to fight. Number one, accept that. If they say we have never fought, then you are not husband and wife. Okay. Number two, when you fight, one person is upset, second should be cool. Second should not open their mouth. When Murthy is angry, I will never talk. I said, let him pour out what he wants to. Okay? I'll keep quiet. When I am angry, he keeps quiet. But in real life, I keep quiet most of the time. Okay? You should never get upset together because that is the recipe for further fights. Third thing is, life is give and take, you know. There's no perfect life, there's no perfect couple. Some plus, some minus. He comes along with that plus and minus, I come with my own plus and minus. Please understand. Number 4, I want all men of this generation should help their wife in the kitchen. It's very important. Only wife should help. She should be a software engineer, come back, cook. She should attend PTA meeting. No. You have to share the burden of your wife. Then only the family can. Because you stay in a city and you are young, both of you have aspirations, but you have to share your difficulties. And all men normally talk, oh, my mother was a great cook. Because she was not working. Then she will cook whole day. Because your wife is working, then you expect she should be like your mother. It is not possible. So please understand, your wife is always dear to you.
Can
Okay?
I ask both of you in conclusion, what's the biggest regret and what's the one proud moment you most cherish? You start first, Mr. Murthy. What's your biggest regret after all these years of marriage and love and setting up Infosys? Your biggest regret and your proudest moment?
Well, I don't know if I have any regrets because right from day one, we operated Infosys as an enlightened democracy. There was certain highly daring things that we didn't do. We could have done them if we were not we didn't operate like a true democracy. So to some extent, maybe our growth was somewhat less than what we could have achieved. It's not a regret, but that's one.
And your proudest moment?
Proudest is really when I sat in front of those scorching lights on a high stool in NASDAQ when we became the first Indian company to be listed on NASDAQ. I think that was, in some sense, we were doing something that had not been done, in many senses, that had not been done at all by an Indian company.
Sudha Murty, your one big regret and your proudest moment?
Regret is I never learned swimming. I feel bad about it. Because I come from an area where drinking water was so difficult to get. Forget swimming. I always feel, when I look at swimming pool, I say, oh, so much water is there, we can use it. It never comes to me that I can jump into that. It never comes to me.
And your proudest moment?
When I helped Devdasis, 3,000 of them who were sex workers, converted them and rehabilitated them to normal life, that was the proudest. That day my wish list became empty. That day I said, okay, now I can converse with God saying that I served your children very well. I don't have any desire in my life. No desires.
I know that you all love books, and we're going to have a book signing with them for those who would like to have the Uncommon Love signed. But you're also a movie buff. You used to watch what?
Lots of movies.
20 movies a month. So
No.
should we end with a nice duet from the 1970s? We are all, I like to see myself as a child of the 70s when music was quite brilliant. Is there a favorite song that you want to tell us? A love song that typifies love?
Oh, there are many are there.
Or
50s.
anything that if today you had to sing to
Kora Kagas Tha Man Mera, Dilip Kumar, sorry,
Kora
Rajesh Khanna and
say you
Sharmila
can-
Tagore. No, I can't sing. I
Kora
can't-
Kagas Tha Ye Man Mera.
लिख गया नाम इसमें तेरा. That's a beautiful song.
See, she sings it, then you have to respond.
No, Murthy.
Huh? Yeah, sorry.
You know, Abhi na jao chodkar.
Dil.
That, you know.
Abhi na jao chodkar ki dil abhi.
Bhara nahi.
Arey wow.
That is-
You know, that in a way typifies their relationship. Because it is what, how many years and counting now?
I know me, Murthy, 50 years. We are married for 46 years. Okay.
So you're about to reach a half century, but you knew each other 50 years ago for the first time. You're celebrating your half century, and it's been a remarkable journey from those days when you had your banana milkshake and your orange juice to today being on NASDAQ and being a Rajya Sabha MP. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Sudha Murty and Narayana Murthy, truly inspirational and truly people who represent the best values of India today.
Thank you. Rajdeep, your father was a well-known cricketer.
Yes.
So it's a good partnership in cricket, I suppose. Half a century at least you have scored. Thank you.
When you have a cricket partnership, you're supposed to score a full century. So may you score a full.
Ladies and
for-
gentlemen, please
Thank
put
you
your
very
hands
much.
together for the Murthys. And may I please request them to honor us and launch the India Today Coffee Table book. I'd like to invite on stage Mr. Sudhakar Rao, Director ICFIA, to join the Murthys for the launch of India Today's Coffee Table book. It's the best of India, a collection, a celebration of the very many things our country's got right in its independent existence and the many famous Indians who've made our lives happier, healthier, more prosperous, and just plain better along the way. From our culture to agriculture, dance to Bollywood blockbusters, victories on the battlefield to the Olympic podium, and much more. The best of India. Ladies and gentlemen, please raise a warm applause. Right after this book launch, the Murthys will be launching their own book and signing their own book right outside, An Uncommon Love. There are copies that are available for sale in the pre-function area. You can meet them there. May I please call upon stage Rushali Malpekar, Motwani Jadeja Foundation to come up on stage and present a small token of our appreciation right after this quick photo opportunity, ma'am. Just 10 seconds. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, the Murthys, put your hands together. May I please call upon Rushali Malpekar, Motwani Jadeja Foundation to come up and present a small token of our appreciation. This session was sponsored by Motwani Jadeja Foundation.